with the way
Not as really bad though.
No, it's
not
pretty
as
good, but not as awesome
Yeah.
as it once was, perhaps.
Yeah, so thanks, Kyle, for saying exactly what I've been saying. Brock Purdy, to use your line wilds, is not a thermostat. He's a thermometer. And when the team's awesome around him, he'll look awesome. And when the team is average around him, he'll look average. And this has been my take all along. It is why last year Christian McCaffrey, not Brock Purdy, was the most valuable San Francisco 49er, as evidenced by this year. Christian McCaffrey's not there. The offense isn't the same. Then when he gets back, no, but he wasn't there. I'm saying, but he wasn't there for a long time. Then he comes back, but doesn't look like old Christian McCaffrey. Team's not the same.
You know what's so insane about that statement right there? That he just can't see the absurdity of it all when Patrick Mahomes does not... You could say the exact same thing about Patrick Mahomes in this context. You can say the exact same things. He says Brock Purdy's great when the team's around him, and when the team around him isn't great, he's not as, he's not good. Patrick Mahomes, everyone keeps saying, oh, well, he has no one to throw to, he has no weapons, he doesn't have this. Therefore, the team is not that good. The offense is not that good. And how has Patrick Mahomes been playing this season? Oh, that's right, not that good. Brock Purdy literally, statistically, has been better than Patrick Mahomes on various metrics, as highlighted throughout this season, not just from me. So, if you want to say that about Brock Purdy, then you have to say it about Patrick Mahomes. And miss me with the nonsense of how amazing he was last year when they won. He had no one around him. Just stop with that nonsense already. Stop. It's like you guys want to pick and choose when you want to say Rashee Rice and Pacheco and Kelsey are good. Is Kelsey, does he step up in an all-time great in the playoffs? Yes or no? Did he play great in the playoffs last year? Yes or no? How about Rice and Pacheco? Yes or no? I mean, Nick Wright himself kept acting like Rashee Rice was Jerry Rice and talks about Pacheco being a top back. And obviously the great defense that they had last year. And of course, Andy Reid. So stop with this nonsense narrative that somehow Patrick Mahomes puts up unbelievably amazing numbers and wins all day, every day, no matter who's there. Because every time he loses, you say, well, what do you want him to do? He has got no one to throw to. They keep dropping passes. But then when Brock Purdy doesn't have someone to work with, you say, well, see, he can only do it when there's good people around him. And then when you give him some weapons, you say, well, see, he's only good when there's weapons around him. And you can't just choose wins and losses. You just can't. Okay? Because Joe Burrow this season has lost not one, not twice, but 3 games where he's thrown for over 300 yards, over 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions. Tom Brady, when doing that, has only lost twice in his entire career. It's almost like wins and losses have to do more than just the quarterback. Huh. Go figure. Go figure. So it doesn't make any sense. This constant scrutiny of Brock Purdy, like he's been this fundamental problem. And I bring Patrick Mahomes up in this example because he will always be the best example. Because he is the gold standard in the NFL of excellence. That's who he is. He's the frame of reference that we use. That everybody universally praises. No, I am not saying that Brock Purdy is as good as Patrick Mahomes. If I could choose between both quarterbacks, I am choosing Patrick Mahomes. So again, everyone, anytime you ever bring up a name like Patrick Mahomes when talking about someone else like a Brock Purdy, people immediately say, don't compare Patrick Mahomes to Brock Purdy. Okay, sure. Because I'm saying that they're equal. That they're equal quarterbacks. People still fail to understand what a comparison and what a frame of reference is. It's not saying that they're 100% equal. And you can't say, well, hey, well, so-and-so won Super Bowls. That's irrelevant for this part of the conversation. We're not talking about career trajectory or achievements. But when you're using certain stats and numbers to back up why you think Brock Purdy is a bad quarterback, and looking at these numbers right here, then you got to do the same thing for quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes. And if you're going to do the same thing for Patrick Mahomes, then you got to say, well, why are his numbers down? Let's dig into it. And if you say, well, it's because he doesn't have the same pieces, he's lost his wide receiver 1 and 2 and running back. Okay. Well, we can say the same thing for someone like Brock Purdy. So if you're going to give excuses for Patrick Mahomes, you got to give excuses for Brock Purdy. And if you want to praise Patrick Mahomes for putting up insane numbers when he has wide receivers like a Tyreek Hill, prime Travis Kelce, GOAT coach and Andy Reid, but you want to give a lot of that credit to Patrick Mahomes, then you better give Brock Purdy the credit when he's putting up amazing numbers and winning, when he's got awesome weapons and an awesome coach. But it's so inconsistent how we do this. It's like I can't even make it through clips because it's just the same cyclical nonsense again and again and again. And I mean this about all people. This isn't about Nick Wright. This is about all people that want to constantly... If anything, all of these comments aren't even towards Nick Wright. It's actually towards a lot of people in the comment section, honestly. Because this is like such a common thing that people do. Especially Patrick Mahomes fans, more than anything, quite frankly. But this is so old. It's like we have to do this like every other day. In the beginning of the season, this was like the prevailing storyline. All about Brock Purdy and his failures and this and that and blah, 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 blah. He's still been a top quarterback in the NFL. Look where Brock Purdy is. PFF, offensive rankings. Brock Purdy's number 6, right below Patrick Mahomes. He's right there. Brock Purdy has thrown for 2,600 yards. Patrick Mahomes, 2,400. Brock Purdy has been averaging 8.5 yards per attempt. Patrick Mahomes, 7. Brock Purdy, 13 touchdowns. Mahomes, 15. Mahomes also has 11 interceptions. Brock Purdy has 8. So, let's just stop it with this. Seriously. We're acting like Brock Purdy is garbage. That he is just a pedestrian out there. And it's just not true. And Nick said the other day, which I reacted to the clip, but it's not going to post until tomorrow, where he was like, see, Brock Purdy's not that good. And he used an example where he was like, last year Brock Purdy was playing great and they went to the Super Bowl. This year he's not playing great. And look, he's playing average, and now they're just an average team. And again, that statement then, logically, the conclusion would be that Brock Purdy's really important to his team. When he plays great, the 49ers play great. When he doesn't play so great, the 49ers don't. Therefore, he is crucial to the success of the 49ers. Because if he wasn't deserving of the credit, then they would be able to win without him playing great. Which is technically the argument that you can make against Jared Goff when he throws 5 interceptions and they still win. Now, I defended Jared Goff, so that's not supposed to be a slight at Goff at all. But technically, at least there's some weight to that argument, technically. There's some fuel for that fire when you have a 5 interception game and they still come away with the win. But to my knowledge, does that game really exist for Brock Purdy? I mean, not necessarily. It certainly does for Patrick Mahomes, actually. Patrick Mahomes has played really, 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 really bad. He's had his career lows, historically awful performance with his lowest rating ever, right? Just terrible, terrible, terrible. And they they still won. Weird. Patrick Mahomes has actually been playing awful this season, and yet they still won. So weird. So weird. Is his team carrying Patrick Mahomes? Huh. I don't know. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that some of the stats and performances could technically suggest that. So if we just want to reduce someone's ability to be great to just or the quality and grading system of them just based off of stats like this, and cold numbers, not actually looking at how these games are unfolded, who's there, who's not there, what the story is, who they're playing, the situation as a whole, well, then we have to do the same thing for the other players, for the other quarterbacks, the other all-time greats. And so I guess under that logic, they're all civilians. Patrick Mahomes is a civilian. Brock Purdy is a civilian. Josh Allen, Lamar, Tom Brady, they're all civilians. I don't make the rules. If those are the rules that you guys want to play by, then that's what we have to do. We got to be consistent. It's really that straightforward. It's really that simple. So if you don't recognize what Brock Purdy can bring to the table, I've made so many videos about it. So many videos about it. And if you think that Brock Purdy's the reason why they're not winning this year, it's like I don't really know what to tell you, man. Brock Purdy is not the reason why. Has he been exceptional? Has he been unbelievably amazing? No. But you could say the same thing about all these other quarterbacks. All of them. Has Lamar Jackson been absolutely perfect and exceptional every single game? No. Patrick Mahomes? No. Josh Allen? No. Really, the only quarterback that has actually been consistently really great week after week after week is probably technically Joe Burrow minus that first game. Technically. Yeah. I don't know, man. These back and forths with Brock Purdy and him being average and pedestrian is just, I don't know, man. I just find it old at this point. I really do. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Brock Purdy? About his level of play, who he is as a quarterback, his standing within, his ranks amongst other quarterbacks. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.